gives me immense pleasure addressing this Kalinga Literature Festival here. And also I am happy to see the distinguished guests of the dais, mainly the young faces, the future of literature and culture of both the countries. Very good morning, namaskar. Nepal, the land of spirituality, courage, wisdom, and profound cultural richness, residing in the sacred embrace of Himalayas, holds a special place in the hearts of Indians and also Nepali people. For the writers gathered here, this beautiful nation is not merely a destination but a pilgrimage of the mind and spirit. I offer my respectful homage to this holy land and its people. I extend my heartfelt congratulations and my blessings to the organizer of the Kathmandu Kalinga Literature Festival, Sri Rasmi Ranjan Parida, who has done a commendable job. I was really surprised. Let me tell you that I am a very senior writer, but I think that I am a young person. So, therefore, sometimes young people also forget. I forgot to congratulate Madam Susila ji, the former Prime Minister of Nepal, I think the first woman Prime Minister of Nepal. I have seen when the election was going on and she took over as the Prime Minister, I was feeling proud because being a woman, I was feeling proud of her. And I am very happy that I am sitting near her. This is because of Kalinga Literature Festival. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to not only to Rasmi but to the entire team and Mrs. Rasmi also. She is doing a lot of job. Kalinga Kathmandu Literature Festival is a vibrant platform where writers, thinkers, and artists from diverse backgrounds can meet, engage, and enrich one another. Literature has always transcended borders, serving as a bridge between language, cultures, and nations, fostering understanding, dialogue, and a shared version of humanity. India and Nepal are not merely neighboring countries but have a relationship since Puranic times. History, civilization, faith, language, art, and shared human emotions. The bond between Nepal and India dates back to Treta Yuga. I am taking you to Treta Yuga and to attend the marriage of Prince of Ayodhya, Ramchandra, to Princess of Jaunapur, Sita. So our relationship is from that day, and it is a bond of marriage. It is the most important part of human life. The bond between Nepal and India are very old, very Puranic, and this union of Ram and Sita, not merely as a mythological event, but is a timeless symbol of the deep cultural, spiritual, and emotional ties that continues to unite our two nations. The birthplace of Lord Buddha, that is my most attraction for this place. This is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. This is my Lord Buddha. This is my second visit to Kathmandu. The birthplace of Lord Buddha at Lumbini is not only Nepal's pride but as a shared heritage for all humanity. Nepal gifted the world Siddhartha Gautama, and India nurtured his spiritual journey, and from that sacred quest emerged the Buddha. Buddha surpassed the geographical boundary of Nepal and India, became universal wisdom. Likewise, the sacred tradition of associated with Janakpur, Pashupatinath, Muktinath, Kashi, Bodhgaya, Jagannath Dham Puri, Odisha, and countless other pilgrimage centers have connected Nepal and India for centuries. The spiritual journey of South Asia cannot be imagined without Nepal. In many ways, our relationship still carries that emotional and cultural meaning. Festival, rituals, music, food, folklore, and family ties continue to connect millions across the open border. The India-Nepal relationship is also a relationship of language and literature. Nepal literature has enriched the literary consciousness of the Indian subcontinent, while Indian literature in Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali, Odia, Maithili, Urdu, Tamil, and many other languages has influenced readers and writers in Nepal. Great literary figures of India and Nepal have helped us understand one another with compassion. Literature teaches us that human suffering, love, loneliness, hope, and dignity are universal. A poem written in Kathmandu can touch a heart in Kolkata or Bhubaneswar. A story born in Varanasi or Patna may find resonance in Pokhara. Translations have always an extraordinary role in this friendship. When literature crosses language, it crosses borders peacefully without any political unrest. I must say bravely that politics divides, religion divides, but literature connects. So now this is very important to be connected with each other, and that the medium is literature. Translators are cultural ambassadors. They are the bridges. They preserve the soul of one civilization and introduce it to another. My novel, Yagyaseni, Draupadi, has been beautifully translated into Nepali by the veteran author Bindya Suba and was published by publishers in Darjeeling and also one publisher in Nepal. It was adapted into a solo theatrical play in the Nepali language by writer Suman Pokhrel. The Himalayas reminds us of shared responsibility. Climate change, melting glaciers, foods, and earthquakes and ecological destructions affect both our nations. Writers and intellectuals must raise their voices not only for beauty and imagination but also for the protection of nature and humanity. The youth of India and Nepal are increasingly connected through education, cinema, music, digital platforms, and travel. But it is important that they also remain connected to their roots. Literature festivals such as this one are therefore deeply meaningful. They encourage young people to listen to the stories, preserve memory, and celebrate diversity. Literature festivals create national integration and international understanding, which is the urgent need of the time. Today, in an age of technology and rapid communication, literature has an even greater responsibility. We are living in times of complete ecological crisis, social divisions, migration, loneliness, and identity crisis. South Asia needs cultural dialogues more than ever before. India and Nepal can together promote a literature of peace, coexistence, environmental consciousness, and human dignity. A writer, as writers and thinkers, we must resist narrow nationalism, hatred, prejudice, and intolerance. Culture grows not through isolation but through exchange. Nepal and India have survived through centuries because of our civilizations embraced dialogue rather than exclusion. Today, when I look at Nepal, I do not see a foreign land. I see a cultural companion, a spiritual neighbor, and an emotional relative, and I feel this is my second home. I see the wisdom of the mountains, the music of folk traditions, the resilience of common people, and the beauty of coexistence. May the literary friendship between Nepal and India continue to flourish. May our writers continue to inspire humanity. May our youth inherit a future of peace and creativity. And may the Himalayas forever stand as silent witness to the enduring friendship between our two nations. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.